The following podcast is for mature listeners. Although looked at in a light-hearted manner, some content may be graphic and gruesome. Also, due to the host's complete lack of maturity, those easily offended will probably be offended.
It's movie night.
Is fucking rough, dude.
Dude, it's trash. Like, I beat the game in like 25 hours, and I was like...
You beat it?
Yeah, I already beat it. And now I'm like going
man.
back and like doing like the battle gate missions where it's like... Dude,
He
like,
just fucking told me... This guy tells me not to play it because it's trash. He's already beaten it, and he's going back for fucking platinum trophies and shit.
Yeah, I am. Because it's like, I want to get my fucking $60 worth out of this fucking bullshit.
I don't think I even got, like... $6 worth out of that game. That fucking,
dude, it's fucking horrific.
It's just too. There's so what the fuck is going? Like, there's so many like bonus things that you get, and they're all locked to triangle. So it's like go into your second form triangle, get on the Disney ride triangle.
Like, oh yeah, fucking do.
Fucking shoot fireworks with Donald triangle.
Do teacups? Oh, when you want to shoot fireworks out of your ass, hit triangle. Yeah, I get it. It's fucking gay.
It's too much, dude. There's too much going on. I can't fucking. I tried. I wanted to like it so bad, but I went back to... You know what I've been playing, though? You have a Switch, right?
Yeah, I got a Switch.
Dude, have you ever... Are you into, like, tactical RPGs? Like, did you ever play Shining Force?
Are you talking about the Octaveler's Time Travel?
No, that one... Don't fuck with that. I mean, you can. That game's not bad, but there's a new game that the people that made Stardew Valley and Starbound just came out with. It's called Wargroove. It's like, you ever play Advanced Wars or
yes. Actually, yeah. Send me some info on that game, by the way. Off screen.
About Wargroove or about Advanced Wars?
Wargroove.
Yeah, it's so these guys basically they were into Advanced Wars, and they were tired of waiting for fucking Nintendo to come out with a new one. So they made their own. And like I said, it's the people that made Stardew Valley, so it's fucking dope.
All right, let's talk about Abducted in Plain Sight.
Yes. Let's do it.
So when did you watch this documentary?
I watched it Saturday. So
I'm going to be real honest right now, because I had just finished watching the Ted Bundy tapes.
Right.
And I had been
which you're not a fan of, which I'm not a fan of,
which I feel like the Ted Bundy tapes.
It's on my list.
Hone in more on the fact that he's so charismatic. He's a good-looking guy and kind of talk his way out of everything.
I'd do
him. Of course. I mean, I would do him. Look at him, and how he escaped prison twice, and how he was on the land. It only got
52% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's what it fucking deserves. It doesn't deserve anything more than that. The only time that if there was ever a creepy moment was at it was 30 minutes in the last episode. He tells someone, a close confidant, I should say, about how he severed the head off of a girl and buried it, and it's kind of buried it and where he buried it, and then he had sex with her body after he had severed her head.
Jesus, did they go find the head?
Oh, I mean, yeah, they found it. Yeah,
oh, okay, good.
But that was the only creepy part, is that he admitted to being into necrophilia. Other than that, it was just kind of oh man, Ted Bundy's so cool, blah 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 blah. He's so handsome.
What is that? Like a big reveal? Like we didn't already.
Yeah,
that
was that was it, and it was the night before he got executed. So.
Oh really?
Yes. And anyway, my man.
How did he get executed?
Electric chair
injection.
Girl.
Oh yeah. See, there it is.
Call back.
Well, hey, hold on. Let's explain what we're doing here. So we've said before that we want to get more content out to you guys. We want to do try and do an episode every week. It's tough with like the real episodes because there is research that goes into it. So what we figured, and we talked about possibly doing a separate podcast where we just talk about like movies, documentaries, TV shows, shit that has to do with the kind of stuff we talk about on the podcast. And then we said, fuck it, let's just do it as like an off week show, just make it part of the podcast. So this is like, they're probably not going to be as long. There are going to be spoilers if you haven't seen whatever the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
go see it first and then listen.
It's going to be titled "What We're Talking About," so if you haven't seen it, do not listen until you've seen it. Like, simple as that, folks. Like, we're not trying to be rude. We're just trying to help you help yourself.
Yeah.
That's all.
No, and I think it'll be cool. Like, if you watch it and then you can listen to what we thought about it and kind of see, where we stand. But it's just a way that we can kind of get more shit out to you guys because we like doing this, but it's hard with the amount of research it takes to do the full episode. So
yes.
Anyway, the first one we're doing is it's all the rage on Netflix right now. It's called Abducted in Plain Sight, and it is it's a mind bender. Yeah.
So, like, I was just explaining to Paul. I watched the Ted Bundy tapes, and then I immediately flipped
they were
over.
here. Jake, they were here for that.
They were here for this. I was just explaining it, and I'm just reiterating what I was saying.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So, I flipped over to Abducted in Plain Sight, and I did not, like, my jaw was wide open for the majority of this documentary.
Like, yeah, I had no idea what to expect coming in. I saw that people were talking about it.
Expectations, and sometimes you watch a documentary and it's a snooze fest. But
sometimes it's not.
And this rare occasion, I was, in a word, flabbergasted the entire fucking time.
So okay. This guy, right? This guy.
Bob fucking Birchtold.
Bob Birchtold. Obviously a sicko fuck, right? And we'll get to that.
Like,
but the balls
beyond belief
on this guy.
Dude,
balls.
My man has got balls made out of like the serious Roman concrete fucking style balls on this dude to just manipulate and corrupt a little girl along with her entire family.
Yeah. So, okay, I don't want to put ourselves into the mind of this guy, but
because no one in their right mind would be so dastardly.
This guy. So basically, what it boils down to is this guy had eyes for the 12-year-old daughter of this family,
Jan Broburg, the Broburg family.
The Broburg family.
Yes.
Now, I think most of the time, when people, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but usually when grown ass men are obsessed with little 12-year-old girls, they don't go about it by making their family best friends with the little girl's family, and that's what Birchtold did. Birchtold, basically, the way they described it is every person in the Broburg family had a best friend in the Birchtold family.
Yeah.
Like, the kids were best friends with each other. The moms were best friends.
Partridge Family meets the Brady Bunch. You know what I mean? It seemed, because, it takes place in the 70s. Everyone's very hunky-dory. Everyone's, like, buddy-buddy with everybody. So it seems like two families conjoined, so everyone's, like, really tight with one another. Except for the fact that there was this overshadowing presence of Bob Birchtold being infatuated with this middle daughter, Jan.
Right.
And it was, like, so glaringly obvious, but it's the 70s. No one really talks about that type of stuff in the 70s. No one's like, isn't it weird that the fact that, Bob, or B, as they referred to him
they called him B,
had such a weird connection with their daughter, Jan. And it kind of just developed and became, in a way, monstrous as time went on.
So let's talk about how he did it, though. I mean, let's talk about how this guy did it, Jake. This guy, he didn't
master plotter. And I when we get to a certain point, I'm going to lose my shit. Because it's so uncanny the way that he had a grip on this family.
So this motherfucker. He doesn't say, all right, listen, I'm obsessed with this girl, Jan. I'm going to try to sneak her away, get her alone, do whatever creepy fuck shit I want to do. No. What he does first is he wants to make sure that he has dirt on everybody else in the family.
Yeah, he wants to incriminate the parents, Marianne, and I forget what the dad's name is because
I'm trying to find it. God, I wish I could find it. So what he does is he convinces the mom to take a ride with him to. They went to like a cabin, right?
Yes.
I can't remember. What did he say to her to get her to go to this fucking cabin with him? Do you remember? I can't remember what whatever the story was. It doesn't matter. He gets her to this cabin, and then he starts, putting the moves on her. And listen, when you watch the documentary, you're going to see B is not a bad-looking guy. Mr. Broburg is a kind of like a big fat slob. So,
yeah, he looks like a human tick.
Right.
Yeah. His name's Bob, so yeah, that'll just Bob Broburg. If that doesn't tell you that he's just a fat lump, like that just pretty much just sums it up for you.
Oh, he's Bob also?
Yeah. He's
so Bob Berchtold
Broburg,
and Bob.
And we got Bob Berchtold.
Okay. All right, so we're going to refer to them as Bob and B. So B takes Bob's wife, and he seduces her. Now, she says in the documentary that they started, they started kissing, and then things got a little carried away, but that's as far as it went, right?
Exactly.
I don't know what she means by as far as them. I guarantee you she fucked B.
So here's look, I don't want to get on my jump to conclusions, Matt, just yet. But I feel like from the jump, Marianne Broburg was in love with B.
I got that sense even watching her talk about him in the documentary.
Exactly. She didn't talk about him in like he was this devious, awful person. She just talked about him so matter-of-factly.
Well, here's the thing.
It was just like she was talking about
none
her
of them did. All of these people in this documentary, it seemed like they almost, I don't know, like none of them had that like this fucking monster, this despicable evil it was like Bob was the best. When B was around, it was amazing, and they were all still like
everything
up.
Was fantastic.
So he ends up hooking up with the mom, right? Then he shows up one day.
Yeah, but it wasn't like sexy stuff. It was just kind of like they kissed, and he did like under the shirt stuff. He just touched, do a little titty touching.
Yeah, right. That's what she said.
Just to get some dirt on the mom.
Right, but I think he fucked her. He's not around anymore to
I think 100%
give his side of the story.
My man smashed. My man was up in them guts.
Right. So then, after this happens, B shows up at Bob's work, right? Bob had a store. Bob was, I don't remember what the store was. It was like a tailor or something, clothing store, some bullshit. It doesn't matter. Bob had a store.
Fat fuckery, if you will.
And one day, B shows up at Bob's store, and he's very upset. He's visibly upset. And he asks Bob to take a ride with him, right? And they're driving around, and B is telling Bob that he's having problems with his wife, and that they never make love anymore, and that the love is evaporated from the relationship.
The fire, and there's no romance.
The fire in the sky is gone. And then they pull over on the side of the road, and B turns to Bob, and he says, "I just need some relief, Bob. I just need some relief."
And then he pulls his dick out. And then my man has the fucking balls to just be like, "You want to hook your brother up, or what's the deal here?" Like it's like literally, I just feel like he just wanted to say, "It's not going to suck itself, Bob."
And then so when Bob's feeble attempt to to avoid this situation is then replied to with, "Come on, it's just kid stuff. Just kid stuff." That's what B says to him. "Come on, it's just kid stuff. Just jerk me off, Bob. It's just kid stuff."
Yeah, just make long, intimate eye contact with me while you hand job me with like a ravenous animal.
Yeah. No. So when, if you haven't seen it, obviously, you know, what you think happens is exactly what happens. You know, what do you think would happen if a perfectly straight man gets picked up by his best friend, and his best friend pulls the car over, pulls his dick out, and says, "I need you to relieve me"? Obviously, this straight heterosexual man is going to say, "What the fuck is wrong with you? We're just friends."
No.
And get out of the car. And that's exactly what happened, right, Jake? Is that what happened?
No, that's actually, coincidentally enough, that's the exact opposite happened. My man, Bob Broburg, jerked off B until completion.
Relieved him. He said it was one of the biggest
mistakes. All of his worldly stress through his penis.
He said it was one of the biggest mistakes he'd ever made. And then the next scene,
as he's admitting this, he is like crying.
He's crying, but he's also, you know, there's a glisten in his eye.
There's a glisten in his eye where he's like, God damn, that was a magnificent cock.
So it's funny because Bob makes it seem like this was a one-time thing. He relieved B, as a friend should do, and that was it, and it was the biggest mistake of his life. Then the next scene, they go to an audio recording of B saying that he entered into a homosexual relationship with the father. So it wasn't just this one time. They had a relationship.
My man, it just...
So now he's fucked the mom. He's fucked the dad.
Had such a sexual grip.
I think Bob had the sexual grip, to be honest.
He had the... Yeah. Yeah. My man had the gator grip. My man had these parents by the haunches.
Yeah. In more ways than one.
All because he wanted to get at the daughter.
Yeah, so let's not lose sight of what's actually going on here.
Like, that's the long con here, is that he wanted to, in essence, turn the parents against one another in order for him to gain free reign of Jan Broburg.
Yeah, pretty wild shit. So the way he ends up initially doing this is after all this happens, after he's, you know, had his way with the parents, he tells the parents that he wants to take Jan on a trip to go horse riding, right?
Yeah,
horseback riding.
Just want to go, you know, just a nice afternoon ride. You want to do some horseback riding.
Yeah.
Want to get out of town for a few hours. No big deal. Just, you know, neighbor taking your daughter horseback riding.
Yeah, we'll be back by 6.
Back by the time the sun goes down.
Yeah, back by the time the sun goes down. They did not get back by the time the sun went down. They disappeared and didn't show. How many days was it? Like, days and days passed.
Like, at least, I'm going to say close to a week.
Yeah.
Here's what drove me nuts, is that the parents didn't do a thing.
No.
The parents didn't make a call, didn't want to quote unquote get anybody in trouble.
Yeah, they never notify the police. They just said, no, it'll work itself out.
What the fuck is Birchtold's wife and family doing?
I'm sure B has it under. That's the other thing. What the fuck? Were they completely clueless, or were they just like so abused by this dude that they were like, nah, just let him do his thing?
This is what he does. Well, apparently, so at the very beginning of this documentary, they talk about how he tried to become friendly with other families in the area, and how he was quickly put off by those other families. It wasn't until
because he's a fucking creep.
Because he's a fucking pedo, and he wants to touch kids. Well, it wasn't until he met the Broburgs until this motherfucker hit the gold mine, because you got a closet gay dad. And
Hold on a second. You can't make these allegations.
I'm making these allegations. And a mom who's down the fuck because she knows her husband likes dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a sticky situation, but I'll tell you what.
Literally and figuratively.
For Birchtold, it was right where he wanted to be. You know what I mean?
Dude, he was right in the thick of it, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, he's making thick in the warm.
Oof. Big reference. I like it.
So, where did they actually go to when they go on this horseback trip? Well, they find Berchtold's car.
The camper,
right?
if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. So they find Berchtold's car on the side of the road. There's no sign of him. There's no sign of the girl. They do find there was blood in the car, and the window was broken out. It appeared as though Berchtold was trying to make it seem like he had been mugged and like somebody broke the window in and kidnapped him. But the window was broken out from the inside of the car. So somebody got in the car and kicked the window out.
Yeah, so it makes you think that Jan was struggling.
Berchtold takes Jan. But what?
But that's not what it was. Like,
oh, no, right, yeah. So what really happened...
Jan went willingly.
Yeah, Berchtold had this all planned. He had a camper set up. He drugs her, first of all. He tells her it's allergy medicine, that she needs to take allergy medicine because they're going to be around these horses, and he doesn't want her to have an attack.
Exactly.
Then all the shit goes down. She wakes up in a camper.
Next to a fucking a cassette tape recorder that tells her about this grand master plan about aliens and how...
Set up by aliens.
Set up by aliens.
She was like...
It's got the fucking T-Pain auto-tune recorder on it.
Yeah,
and,
so this...
And how she needs to have sex with Bob and how they need to be married, or B, I should say. And how they need to be married and how she can't tell anybody because it would ruin the plan and like her sister would go blind if she told anybody. And I'm like, my man's going to some great lengths.
He really... And again, dude, can you imagine doing that?
No,
I can't. Idea popped into my head, I'd be like, there's no way. Nobody's going to believe that goofy bullshit, first of all. Second, like, if you get caught, how do you explain yourself out of this one? Like, the balls to just be like, nope, Xantar and Xanthar have sent us here. You're half alien princess. You got to fuck this old man to save the alien race. And if you don't, your parents are going to be killed and your brother's going to go blind. And she's 12. So, I mean, I guess you can't blame her too much, but also, like, 12 years old, ask some questions. Right?
Yeah. Like, look, I know I've done some dumb shit, but, like...
I know you've done some dumb shit, too.
I've done some dumb shit, but, like, I never allowed myself to get locked up in a camper, believe some sort of alien grandmaster plan, and allowed me to have some grown-ass man's penis run up in me. Dude,
well, I think that's kind of a specific situation to this.
It is. It's a small niche. But like when she describes the quote unquote, I guess we'll say sexual encounter with B.
Yeah, it's
so disturbing.
It's very disturbing. It's hard to listen to. You know, we're making
because
jokes
here's
and we're
the
doing
thing,
our funny
like, Paul,
clown act.
You have two daughters.
Yeah,
like I would kill anyone that would ever try to touch your daughters like that.
Right.
Like, I couldn't imagine that happening to any one of my friends' kids. And it's just like...
And that's what you think. Like, when you hear that, that's what you immediately picture.
You just become, like, physically ill because you're like, why would somebody want to do that to somebody else's essentially child? Because at the time, B is, like, in his early 40s.
40s, yeah.
And as the documentary progresses, like, this wasn't just, like, a one-and-done scenario. Like, this progressed over several years to the point
and it's almost genius the way he did this with this alien bullshit. She did it willingly because she thought that she had to save her parents and keep her brother from going blind.
The thing about this that really just made it the most, I guess, fucked up for me is that the parents were just so blindsided by their relationship with B that they didn't realize what it was doing to their daughter.
Yeah.
That they didn't realize how much it was affecting her daughter, their daughter, I should say, and realize that, like, why would we let someone do this to our kid?
Well, no, and right. That's the other thing. Like, this dude, he must have had. You talk about Ted Bundy being charming. I mean, he must have been on another level of charming. And I guess it helped that both of the parents were fucking in love with the guy. But at one point in the documentary, he goes to some sort of like psychiatrist who doesn't really tell him, but he tells the parents that the psychiatrist told him that as part of his treatment, he needed to lay in bed with Jan while she slept. And they were just like, yeah, all right, that sounds good. I mean, that sounds like some medical shit. Just go ahead and you're 40, she's 12. I can see how that would help you. Go ahead and
Totally
lay
fine.
with my daughter.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, it sounds like medical terminology to me.
Like, that's how fucking out there these, like, I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked into it. I'm sure there's been some serious blowback towards these parents after this documentary came out.
So,
because you can't walk away from this without going, what the fuck were they thinking?
As it progressed and like as it gets towards the end and whatnot, like because eventually like she comes home the first time and then they're like 2 years later she ends up being with him again, and then he ultimately gets arrested.
Yeah, he comes and kidnaps her from her house and takes her to California.
Just rolls right in her. Anyway, he enrolls her in like a private school, and she enrolls her at like he is her guardian. And it's
no! Wait, time out. No, first he takes her to Mexico.
Yes, that was the first time.
Oh, right, that was after the camper. Right, so we should say that after the whole camper thing goes down in the alien situation, he hightails it to Mexico.
Yes,
his brother finds out. Like, he contacts his brother, and he tells his brother to contact her parents and basically drop all the charges. He wants to marry Jan, and then he'll bring her back and everything will be fine. And for once, they stand up and go, yeah, no, we're not going to let you marry Jan. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
So they notify the Mexican police, who, like, break into the trailer, take him out in handcuffs. And then the parents don't testify against him in court.
They don't press charges. They let everything go.
He goes to jail for, like, I don't know, a couple months, and then he's out.
Yeah. He does, like, some, like, perp terms or, like, a fucking... just, like, some bullshit type stuff. Yeah, so the second time, after he, like, is let go scot-free on the first time, he snatches her up, takes her to California, enrolls her in a private school as, like, her guardian, but, like, as soon as that happens, like, people are on him and they realize, like, what's going on.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, and this is why I feel like the mom was in on it from the jump. There's a recorded phone call where B calls Marianne, and she's like, they're talking. She says, "Have you heard from Jan?" "No, I haven't heard from Jan in a couple of weeks." "Do you still love her?" "Yes." "Do you want to marry her?" "Yes." "She's the only one for me, Marianne." "Does she want to marry you?" "Yes." And all she does is just, "Oh, B," like she just lets it fall by the wayside. She was
jealous.
Yeah, like this dude caused the parents to get divorced because at some stage my man's just fucking Marianne on the side. Like, it's no longer just like a casual affair. Like, they're fucking.
Right.
Like, he's torn his family apart. Not to mention, Jan has two other sisters that are just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what's happening here?
And then there's just like so many questions that go through your mind. Like, after B gets arrested and he's prosecuted and everything, if I'm Jan, how do you have any type of relationship with those parents and look at them like they have any type of credibility?
Well, and apparently, I mean, from what I can tell, she's like completely forgiven them, and like they have a great relationship now,
Which
right?
is mind blowing because Jan said she had over 200 sexual encounters with Berchtold.
Crazy, fucking crazy,
which is unreal. And the fact that like the parents just kind of like let it happen, were too tied up with their own relationships with him, that they just let it happen. Now, granted, like you can say like, oh, you know, this happened before the age of social media and people had constant contact with their children and family members, but still, man, what the fuck? Like, how awful of a parent are you to let this happen?
Very, very awful. And then, years go by. Berchtold, I don't know, where did the split happen? I don't remember exactly why.
You're talking about the parents?
Well, no. Like, Berchtold goes away for a while, and then when they get older, Marianne, the mother, writes this book.
She writes a book kind of like chronologically talking about all the events that happen, and Jan teams up with her and they like do like speakings and stuff like that. Well, Berchtold finds out and he tries to start fucking like crashing all of their like open, like all their talks and stuff like that. And he actually showed up at one of them with a gun on him, and then that's when he got put in jail. And they actually had like a live. They met for the first time in like 20 some years. Jan and Berchtold did.
Well, no, hold on. After he showed up to the first couple, she filed a restraining order.
Yes,
that's when they met up in court.
Yes,
and
that was the first time she saw him in like 28 years, I think.
I think they said something along the lines of normal restraining orders are for like up to 12 months. The court issued her a lifetime restraining order against Berchtold because of what she had been through. Then he shows up at one of the events where there was like a biker organization who did like fundraisers and charity for like abused children.
Anti-abused children type thing.
And they recognized him. And they tried to stop him from coming in, and I guess Berchtold hit one of them with his car.
Yes.
That's why he got arrested.
But when they arrested him, they also found that he had a firearm on him.
Yeah, he had a gun. And they found out, like, his history and basically fucking threw the book at him.
And once they gave him a sentence, he fucking took the coward's way out and took a bunch of pills with Kahlua and killed himself.
Yeah, he offed himself. But, what I was saying is, like... What happened, like, from the time that he was having this relationship with Jan to the time that he shows up again 20 years later, like, what happened to where he stopped coming around? Do you remember?
Well, I think it was just after she came back.
She got too old?
The second time. And she realized, like,
oh, that's right. She realized the alien shit was all a hoax.
Everything was a lie and everything was fake. And, like, her whole idea of, like, what love is and stuff like that, she realized it was all just bullshit. And
yeah, that's right.
She completely
because she
separated
had...
her.
So the recording, the original recording said that if she didn't have a child with Bob by her 16th birthday, that the aliens were going to kill her family or whatever.
Yes.
And kill her. And then her 16th birthday came... And she was actually
dead.
She was going to make a pact with her friend. They're going to do a suicide pact because she was afraid of what the aliens were going to do. So she was like, on my 16th birthday, I'm going to kill myself. And then she didn't. And the next day she's like, oh, wait. Maybe it was all bullshit.
Yeah. And it was. But, but could you imagine being like so impressionable, like when something like that, like when you're wrong about something, like that completely like shatters you to your core to some extent. And it's just kind of like she had like some pretty serious damage, like emotional damage to like psychological damage and stuff like that. So it was just like, but I mean, I squarely blame the parents for all.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean,
like,
you can't let people get away with shit like this. That's not
Jan's fault. Like, I mean, I'm going to say 10% of it is Jan's fault, but 90% of that is easily the parents' fault because, like, you knew what was right and what was wrong, and you let what was wrong happen.
Right. Yeah, for sure. This is definitely on the parents. I think that's the general consensus. If you haven't seen the documentary, you should. I don't know why you listened to us ruin it first. But you should still watch it. It's still good.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I mean,
I'm sure we fucked everything up.
I mean, we just kind of gave like a brief synopsis of it. The thing is like an hour and a half long, and like it's very detailed. It's very well done. It's very thorough.
Yeah.
So like it's definitely worth a watch. I mean, obviously don't do it right before you have to do something serious because it's going to make you sad a little bit. I'm just going to keep it real.
Yeah, it's going to make you think about some things.
I highly recommend watching some cartoons after it, or maybe listen to our podcast because we are very uplifting.
There you go. That'll cheer you up. Just be careful which episode you choose. Some of them get kind of... Listen to, you know what? If you're gonna watch this and then you want something to really cheer you up, listen to the cannibal episode with our boy Mavis.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you want. That was a good one. I will say this: Jan Broburg is doing all right for herself. She's actually an actress. I just googled her. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
She's an actress now. She has starred. Let's pull up this IMDb. She has acted in. God damn, 47. She has 47 credits. So
I sure hope they're not adult films.
One of them has a naked woman on the cover of it, and it's called Maniac.
Oh no, Jan Broburg as a creepy stepdaughter who gets banged out by her stepdad.
Is that it?
No, I hope not.
She helps a young artist with her upcoming exhibition. The owner of a mannequin shop. What? This doesn't even make sense. Oh, it's a deadly mannequin.
Oh,
it's a movie about a deadly mannequin.
Itself. The mannequin comes to life and tries to kill you.
Yeah, but only when it's wearing the hat. You
it's like a Frosty the Snowman tail, but with a mannequin.
Yeah. Okay. I like this. This was fun. Jake, should we do The Thing next time? I've never seen The Thing. I don't know if I want to put that out there in public. Jake criticizes me a lot for it. I think it's one of
him for not watching The Thing. It's cinema masterpiece.
You like The Thing, right?
Please judge him.
You're a fan of The Thing.
It's top 5 favorite movies ever. I have Kurt Russell tattooed on my forearm from The Thing. That's how much I love him.
That's not a joke. He really does. That's for real.
It's a real thing. I will show it to you if you ask. Anyhow.
Okay.
Check us
all right,
out.
We'll do The Thing.
Yeah, we're going to watch The Thing. We're going to talk about it. I want to hear Paul's reactions. If you guys have any thoughts or comments, email us at thedepthscast@gmail.com. Check us out.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do that. Okay, look. So I'm going to watch The Thing. We're going to talk about The Thing next week. You fucking email us anything you want to say about The Thing, and we'll read it out on the podcast. If you have any,
we will literally read excerpts out loud.
Yeah, you send us your emails about the movie.
Cool with
so
that.
We'll do this. We'll give out the movie we're going to do next time, or whatever we're going to do next time ahead of time. Let these people send us emails. We'll share what you guys think. So yeah, there you go. If you want to get your shit read on the podcast, that's the way to do it. Send us an email at thedepthspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. We're on Instagram.
Yep. Depthscast@gmail or Depthscast on Instagram. My name's Jake Watts. Paul is breeding nuclear. We are on the Apple Podcast app. We are on Spotify. We are on YouTube. And we're going straight to the White House and meow!
Ah!
Yeah. Check us out. Like and subscribe. Give us 5 stars. And leave a comment or something. It would be cool.
Right,
but don't jack off your friend. That's all I'm saying.
No, even if he really wants it, like, badly.
Yeah. Don't give your friend that type of relief. He'll thank you in the end by not raping your daughter.
Yeah. You don't want that.
God bless you and good night.
Amen.